What is going on? Episode 41 of the Media Captain podcast.
I'm Stefanie Parks.
And I am her brother, Jason Parks.
We have a great topic today that we're really excited about. Today we are going to be talking about great advertising copy. Last week in episode 40, we talked about driving traffic to your website. So that podcast leads in perfectly to this podcast because we hit a lot on paid ads in episode 40. And today we're going to talk about how to make sure those ads have great copy.
Wow, you must be laser focused because normally you'll deviate a little before going into the topic, and today you just
I'm on track.
You just went right into it. Holy shit.
I knew if I didn't swoop in and get my chance, you would take the first opening paragraph. So
no, I normally I'm normally excited to get right into the topic, and you'll kind of deviate a little bit, and you just
turning over a new leaf with episode 41.
You just grabbed the bull by the horns there.
Yep.
So, Steph alluded to the fact that in episode 40 we talked about driving traffic to your site. If you've listened to other episodes about our story, and just to reiterate, we have an e-commerce company, DermWarehouse. Steph runs the day-to-day operations of that. We founded the Media Captain, our digital agency that works with hundreds of businesses. We founded that 10 years ago. So we've driven a lot of traffic to our site. We've generated a lot of leads and a lot of sales through paid advertisements. And
we've written a lot of ads.
We've written a lot of ads. And we're kind of let's share with our audience how to write great ad copy so they could start driving more leads get a little more in the weeds on certain topics. So.
And this is really important because if you're planning on spending money on advertising to drive that traffic to your site, which you should, you want to make sure what you're saying in your ads is really great so you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah, and what I find really interesting about PPC Copy is that you don't have to be the best writer in the world. You don't have to have a journalism background. There's a lot of rules that you have to follow that will make your advertisements perform great. And let's just say if you hire a writer to write PPC copy, it's a different ballgame, folks. So I
think more important than being a good writer is knowing your business and knowing your customers. And if you have those two things, that's really the key to writing great ad copy.
Yeah, and I mean the advertisement is what people are seeing when they go to Google, right? And for DermWarehouse is spending over $60,000 a month on advertisements.
A lot of money.
A lot of money, and if it was shitty copy, it would be a waste of a lot of money. So we just put a lot of emphasis on it because it's what people see.
Yeah, and for DermWarehouse, we have hundreds and hundreds of ads that are running, and we've found some things that work great, and we use it over and over again. So you also don't have to be writing crazy original content for every single ad that you put out there. Find what works and use that, and that's that will save you a lot of time.
Yeah. So let's you do a Google search for something like Glytone Mild Gel Cleanser, which is a popular product for us. And you scroll down on Google. Some people notice the ads, other people don't notice the ads. At the very top of Google, it will say very small, it will say ad.
It's very small.
It's small, and they've changed the color. Now it's black. What's super interesting is that on the agency side of things, we talk with a lot of clients that are like, I never click on paid ads. Nobody clicks on those ads. And I'm like, people do click on the ads.
They do. I actually try very hard when I Google things to not click on the ads and go scroll down to the business and find their actual listing and click on that instead so I don't cost them money.
Unless it's a competitor. No. Yeah. But the thing is, though, is that there's so you have that people ingrained in their minds. They know that there's a lot of people who have more trustworthiness in the organic listings. There's other people that don't know the difference between a paid ad and an organic listing.
And people just want to find what they want to find, and they want to find it fast. So when they're looking at Google, when they're typing something in and you see the first thing there, it's probably pretty relevant. It probably is what you're searching for.
Yeah, but for anybody out there that thinks people don't click on the ads, you're wrong in that instance. And by the way,
You're wrong.
Google generates 96% of its revenue. And I'm 95% sure on this stat. They generate 96% of their revenue, or some absurd amount, based off of pay-per-click ads. So you think of all of the other initiatives that Google has going on, driverless cars, and just every other initiative that's taking place.
Of all the things, that's what you think of, driverless cars.
Well, I'm trying to think of what I mean. I just am so involved in Google that I think pay-per-click ads, but they have a ton of different business
I know.
ventures.
It's just interesting that was the one that you said.
Yeah. But yes, that is their main money driver. That is where their revenue comes from. And so we're going to dive into it. So, Steph, what does a Google advertisement look like? Just kind of explain the structure.
Sure. So within a Google ad, you have 3 headlines which show up at the very top. They're usually like in a different color than the rest of the ads, in blue, or if you've clicked on it already, purple. You can have 30 characters for each of those headlines, and they show up with a little line in between each of them. What's that line called?
I don't know if they're different colors.
I think it's a different color. Like, it's a hyperlink.
Yeah, Kevin's behind the camera, and he knows PPC damn well.
He's like, is it?
And I don't think it's a different color, but
I thought it was like a hyperlink color.
I don't know. I'll have to look on the color.
Okay,
but
wow, way to call me out right off the bat.
Well,
okay.
I just...
Whatever, maybe they're not a different color, but it's a headline. It's bigger. Kevin's checking it out right now, so we'll know. Thumbs up if I'm right, thumbs down if I'm wrong, and we'll get back to you in a few seconds. And underneath the headlines, you have 2 lines for descriptions, which each have 90 characters. So first tip is you want to use as much of that of those characters, as many of those characters as you can. Use the space that they're giving you to fill in your copy.
Yeah, I always say, like, there's ads that when we take over PPC accounts, I'll look at past ads and like they're missing a description too, and I always say that's the equivalent of NBC giving you 30 seconds for a commercial and you just giving them a 15-second spot. Like, utilize...
use your space.
Use your space. And you shouldn't have any issue using your space. Like, I've never heard somebody say that, like, Google's giving me too much real estate. So,
what's the best? When you're typing in, when you have this perfect headline or description in mind and you type it in and it's the exact character limit, you're just like, yes,
yeah,
this was meant to be.
Oh, yeah. When you get like when you have like a great headline and then you're just typing it out and it's like 29 out of 30, it's
Guess
just
what,
like...
folks? I'm right. Kevin has just confirmed.
Really?
Gosh, I know Google PPC so well.
What's the color, Kevin?
It's blue, and if you clicked on it, it's purple.
Yeah,
like the description.
Patting myself on the back right now.
Okay. Like normal, Stephanie's right, I'm wrong.
Thank you, Kevin.
Proceed.
Okay. So something else that you can do in Google Ads is you can add extensions, and you should definitely do this. You should utilize these. Again, utilize whatever they're giving you. There are Sitelink extensions, callout extensions, location, call, and deals. So these are all different things. Sitelink is you are sending them to a link on your site. Maybe it's the reviews page, and you write something. You have again like a little headline that shows up underneath, and then you can write a description about the headline.
Let me jump in here.
Okay.
So, in layman's terms, so the 3 headlines that are 30 characters each, these are at the top, and these should be the most prominent callouts. The description is where you can add more detailed information because you get 90 characters. A site link allows for you to link to a page within your website. So, this is when you want to talk about let's say I'm running an ad for the Media Captain and I want people to learn about our team, about the awards that we've won. If they want to contact us, that is a really good place to send people into other pages on your site.
And when you're looking at the Google Ads, if you get that first placement or sometimes second, these Sitelink extensions show up under your main ad and give you just a lot more space. So they look really nice. They give you a lot of space to work with. So you want to make sure that you're utilizing these. I'm pretty sure that Google, if you don't put Sitelink extensions, and you have that first spot, they'll actually just pull whatever they want into those spots. So you want to make sure that you're setting up those Sitelink extensions how you want them.
Yeah, and then callout extension, because a lot of people get confused between Sitelink and callout. Callout is something where like you wouldn't be able to take somebody to an internal page. So the Media Captain, we have a BBB A+ rating, 10 plus years in business. Like just quick little callouts about your business that really doesn't warrant enough information for its own page. That's a callout. A location extension is if you have a physical address. So for the Media Captain, We're based in Columbus. A lot of our ads are served to Columbus, so the location extension is really important. For DermWarehouse, we're serving the ads nationally. The location extension is irrelevant.
Yeah, we don't use that.
We don't use it. The other interesting one is the call extension. So for DermWarehouse, we don't use the call extension anymore, do we?
No, we do.
We do?
Still have the call extension, and basically it puts your phone number in the ad so people can call you, and you can track it, and you can see how many people are calling you. We use CallRail to track those phone calls. So that's a really good one, and we get tons and tons of phone calls from our ads.
And so you got to think about your business, because for DermWarehouse it makes sense because people are searching for the specific brand, Glytone Mild Gel Cleanser, and they know already what they're searching for. But we just started a PPC campaign for a manufacturing company, and there's no way that somebody would ever call them before clicking on the ad and learning more about the different products that they're selling. And it's really unique what they sell. They sell like these customized chopsticks and these just different food utensils. So yeah, everything good, Kevin?
Yeah.
All right. So so that's where like you have to determine whether or not do you want to pay money for somebody to call before actually going to go to your site. They've also rolled out deal extensions. We've been seeing those more frequently, so you could be listing out promotions. So there's like, you don't think there's a lot when you just see an ad, but my gosh, on the back end, there's just so much.
There's also price extensions. So for DermWarehouse, if we're selling products, we can list out product prices in there, which is great because let's say we have a really expensive product and we have an ad going to that page, people can see the price. So if they're expecting to spend $20 and this product is $200, it will probably deter them from clicking on it. And there's also structured snippet extensions. There's a lot.
That's
there's
a tough
a lot
one to
of
say.
them. It is tough to say.
And so the other thing that frustrates me is, and maybe I'm a little biased, but when we're talking to clients, and let's say somebody calls in for SEO and they say, and I tell them that I think PPC will be a good complement to their digital strategy, and they come back and they say, PPC didn't work for us. If you're not certified in AdWords and you're not an expert and you've just set it up, or even if you used another agency and they set it up in a shitty way, that doesn't mean that PPC doesn't work. So there's so much to it.
And there's so many different things that you can try and so many different ways that you can set up ads.
Yeah, and for DermWarehouse, like literally, the Media Captain's grown more through SEO. DermWarehouse has grown more through PPC. Like we acquire hundreds of customers per week, per day through paid ads, and so it's just very important. And I think before we go into the next one on understanding keyword relevance, and I'll let Steph hit on this a little bit more, but talk about the value of acquiring a customer and how a lot of people just look at like just the value of acquiring a customer. And I know we're going off topic a little bit of advertising copy.
I don't want to get too much into this right now because this is a whole topic in and of itself. I'm not sure if we've talked about this before. I think we have a whole podcast on it. I'm pretty sure that we do.
When you get 41 episodes,
it's hard to remember.
Yeah,
it's tough. But everyone that clicks on your ad, that's a potential new customer. So when you're looking in your Google Ads account, you can see, how much you're spending on each campaign, how much you're spending on each ad, and then you see your conversion value. And it's different for service-based businesses, but for e-commerce, it's really easy to see this is how much we're spending and this is how much revenue we're doing based on these ads. But that's not the only piece to the puzzle. And for any businesses who are only looking at that, they're saying, okay, we need a 4-to-1 return on ad spend. That's, the minimum we could do. There's just so much more that goes into it. You have to think about, okay, that's just for, that's your return on ad spend for that initial purchase. But are you getting a lot of repeat customers? Are people coming back and shopping with you again? Because then that really changes what that number is. So you really have to think about that when you're looking at your return on ad spend.
But you would not get any customers or very few customers if you had a terrible advertisement.
Yes.
So it all starts there. But the coolest thing for DermWarehouse is like when you think of somebody goes to Google and they see a compelling ad and they click on it and they then become a customer. And we've had customers that we've had for 5 years now. They wish Stefanie a happy birthday, and it all came from a pay-per-click ad. So just to be thinking about the context.
Yep.
The next thing is understanding your keyword relevance. you bid on keywords. And this is when I said at the beginning of the episode that like if you just had a journalism major writing your ad copy, it's not going to be great. You need to have keyword relevancy. And if you have good keyword relevancy, it's going to improve your quality score. And when you have a good quality score, it actually drives down your cost per click. So go into that, Steph.
So when you're creating your ads and when you're choosing your search terms for the ads, you want to make sure that the search terms are matching up with what you have in your ad copy.
The keywords are matching up.
The keywords are matching up.
And real quick, keywords trigger advertisement. So in order...
Search terms are what your potential customers are actually searching for on Google in order to see your ads.
Yeah, but the keywords are what trigger the advertisement. So if you're ever curious, well, Jason, Steph, I'm just starting out with AdWords. How do I get my ad to populate? You have to first bid on keywords and then you create ad copy. But without a keyword, you have nothing. So.
Yeah, and the keyword list is really important. But you want to make sure that the keywords you're selecting are relevant to the ads that you're creating. And if you start getting all of these keywords that you don't think make sense with the ad you created, that's when it's time to create another ad group within that campaign or another campaign altogether and have another ad that is specifically related to those keywords that you're choosing. So you want to make sure, again, that your relevance is high. That way you can drive down the cost per click on those keywords.
So I'm just going to give you an example. If I am bidding on, let's see here, I wouldn't want headline 1 to be Columbus web design. I wouldn't want headline 1. Let's actually use an example for DermWarehouse. So if
you flip to page 2, I actually put a screenshot of one of our ads in there for your reference.
Oh yeah, so there we go. So shop Senti skincare. So we would want to be bidding on keywords related to Senti. We would not want to be bidding on other keywords, and that's where overall structure comes into play. For the Media Captain, if I had an ad for Columbus web design company, I would want headline 1 to reference web design company, and I would want to bid on those keywords. So the mistake that a lot of people do is they bid on so many keywords that the keyword that ends up triggering does not match what's in headline 1, and you want that to be a match, which means you have to really organize your AdWords account well. Did I explain that well, Steph?
I think so. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, and so I guess when you have good keywords that align with good ad copy, you will improve relevance score that will ultimately drop your cost per click. So how cool is that? That if you create good ad copy,
you're saving yourself money.
The better your ad copy is, the less money you're spending.
But it's your ad copy, coupled with your keyword selection. So don't think that you have to get, hundreds of keywords in there. You want to make them specific to what your ad is about. And if you can split those up into different groups, you can have different ads with different keywords, but make sure you have that relevance.
For sure. And so the next thing is, Stefanie mentioned this at the beginning, like you need to know a lot. The more you know about your business, the better.
And your customers and what your customers are looking for.
And you want to avoid fluff. I think one of the biggest mistakes from an advertising copy perspective is there's just like a lot of fluff involved, and you want to be straight to the point. And we're going to go through a couple of examples on that.
Jason hates fluff. Anytime he reads something, he'll just be like, "There's too much fluff here."
Yeah, I try to eliminate it.
Yeah, he does.
I'm a fan of fluff and udder.
Yeah, haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah. All right. So an example is Columbus Plumbing Company. So in headline 1, I would want Columbus Plumbing Company because that is going to align with the keyword that I'm bidding on. For headline 2, 20% off first-time customers. Hard hitting. You're giving a promotion. You're enticing people to go with your plumbing company. A lot of times when when someone has a plumbing issue, it's an emergency. Headline 3, we're open 24 hours for emergencies. And then and I'll go through more ad copy. Fast service, 24/7 emergency plumbing, background checked technicians, 100% client satisfaction. And 100% client satisfaction is probably a little bit of fluff.
Alert.
But everything else in there, headline 1, Columbus Plumbing Company aligns with the keyword, 20% off, open 24 hours. background check technicians. People care about who's coming inside of their home. All of that hard-hitting, good ad copy. Steph, you can go into the one for DermWarehouse.
Okay, so that was one example. Here's the example for DermWarehouse. We're talking about Sente skincare, so it's going to all be keywords related to this specific brand that we sell on our site. So the first headline, shop Sente skincare. It's really to the point. There's nothing fancy there, but that's what people want to do. They want to buy products, so they need to know that when they come to our site, they can shop.
And it aligns with the keyword that we're bidding on.
And it aligns with the keyword. Headline 2, authorized seller of Sente. This is one of the top questions that people ask us when they come to our site. They want to know if we're an authorized reseller. They want to make sure that they're getting authentic products that aren't expired or fake. We are an authorized reseller of everything that we sell, so we want to put that, right in the top of the ad in headline 2. Then headline 3, we have free shipping and samples. This is something else that people are really attracted to. Last thing people want when they get to a site is to go to checkout and all of a sudden there's a huge shipping fee tacked onto their order. So we want to let people know right off the bat that we have free shipping and we give samples with all of our orders. And then in the descriptions, we mention again that we're an authorized seller of Sente. This is such a frequently asked question that we want to make sure that we're really hitting hard on this. So authorized seller of Sente skincare, shop entire selection now at DermWarehouse.com. We sell every single one of their products, so we want people to know that we don't just have one or two. And then our second description is more about our company, dermatologist-owned site, 1,500 plus positive reviews, and advice from skin specialist on site. Again, all things that people are really interested in and people want to know about regarding our site in general.
And wow, when you really say it out loud, it's amazing how much information, when you're typing it or when you look at an ad, you're like, oh, that's not a lot, but there's really so much to it. And that doesn't even include, the site links or anything along those lines. We'll give another example and going just, we know that our listeners, some are e-commerce, some are B2B. So for the Media Captain, Columbus SEO company, headline 1, that would be the keyword that we'd be bidding on. And by the way, it is fine if one of the keywords was Columbus SEO agency. You could split it out so you have different, literally where it's matching identically, but pretty close relevancy there. Headline 2, free 30-minute consult. So that's huge. People want to know about their SEO issues, so to know that they can call in and speak with an expert. Headline 3 will pinpoint core issues, kind of just alluding to the prior point. In business for 10 plus years, voted top 1% agency in the US. When it comes to marketing agencies, we know a lot of times there's just non-established companies that people don't have trust in. So the fact that we've been around for 10 years is important. And then we'll create a customized strategy and track keyword rankings versus competitors. People love knowing where they stack up versus our competitors.
I love that.
And people love knowing that we are going to customize the strategy for their business. So getting that all into the ad copy drives relevant clicks, quality, traffic. Whew,
Well,
deep.
that was a lot.
Deep breath there. We're not going to go too much into Facebook and Instagram because Stefanie hates it. No, I'm joking, but
I started putting together this outline yesterday, and in the Facebook section, I just wrote Jason to write because Stefanie hates Facebook.
Yeah. Well, all of her revenue comes from Google and Bing, and that's why she likes that.
Jason deleted that from the outline.
I did. So Google is keyword driven, and Facebook and Instagram. What's unique about that is it combines two different forms of creative. So you have the messaging and the content. And the content in many instances on Facebook and Instagram is more important than the ad copy. But there needs to be that connection between the two. So Google is just all keyword driven. So it's all about the copy. Facebook, Instagram, it combines two different components. An example that I'll give is
when Jason says content, he means the photo or video that you're using along with your ad.
For sure. So yeah, sorry about that. So an example of a really effective advertisement we ran was for the Media Captain. Stefanie and I, in our inventory room at the DermWarehouse office, filmed a video so you can see all the products in the background.
Love that video.
And we filmed a video talking about how we've grown our business in many other e-commerce companies over, from 0 to over $1 million in sales on the e-com side of things. We talked about us being a brother and sister, and it was just a solid video, and we had solid ad copy that corresponded to it. It did really well. We got a lot of leads. We still run that ad, and now we change it up every now and then. But that's just an example of where you just need more than the copy on Facebook and Instagram. It's visual, so it's a lot different in the way that you write it. You don't have to like match keywords, and there's that's where someone with a journalism background can probably thrive more, just like natively without having much training versus on the PPC side, there's just more strategy and technique based off of the structure of Google Ads.
And I think we can probably do a longer podcast at some point more about Facebook and Instagram and just social in general.
Will I be doing that by myself, or
I'll sit here and smile next to you.
I don't know if you'll be smiling.
I won't be smiling. That's true.
All right. Well, that's it for episode 4.
Well, hold on. So
Whoa.
You didn't flip to page 3.
I didn't know there was a page 3.
Oh yeah, there is.
Okay.
So just some other tips, some things to be thinking about with your ads, whether it's Facebook and Instagram or Google and Bing. Make sure you're A/B testing. So you can create different variations of your ads and see which ones work better. It's just a matter of switching things around or writing completely different content, whatever you want to do. But make sure you're doing tests to see what works best. Always try to improve your ads. That's what that A/B testing is going to do. So always make sure you're making changes to make improvements.
And when you're looking at how do you test A versus B? When you have different headlines, when you have different descriptions, you'll start to be able to see metrics. A huge one is click-through rate. What ad are people clicking through at a higher percentage? That's a good indicator of how an ad performs, and also conversion rate. Which ad is driving more conversions? Typically, there's a correlation. The one that has the higher click-through rate will drive more conversions at a lower cost per acquisition. And then when you start to see a winner, what you do is you pause the loser and you try and create another ad that will outperform your winner. So it's constantly testing.
And then once you're testing and finding things that work, remember what works and use those in other ads, use that ad copy in other places, like on your website and marketing collateral and things like that. So, all of this work is not just for your ads. You can use it also in other places.
So there we go.
And now we're done.
Now we're done. Episode 41 in the books. Have a great one, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.